gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank. I'm joined by the 20-time champion, a 2-time world champion, a legend to the Call of Duty scene, Mr. Pat Price, a.k.a. Aches. We're also joined by another world champion on my other side, another staple to the Call of Duty scene, Mr. Chris Parasite. Gentlemen, how we doing today? Crazy day of fucking COD.
Yeah, not too bad. Just another day of Vanguard roulette, watching watching where the ball lands. But yeah, as far as me, I can't complain. Had a solid day.
What about you, Chris? You watched a lot of the games today? You were tuning in?
Bro, yeah, I can't get a fucking prediction right, bro. I'm tired of this shit.
I was 0-3. I went 1-4. I went 1 for 4 today. 1 for 4. The only one I got right was the last match with LA Thieves. That was the only one I got right. But you know, what are you gonna do? That's COD at its finest.
I can sit there and predict like a team. I can sit there and talk about a team. You know, see what's going wrong for them. You know, predict what what they need to do to improve, right? But then I'll pick the fucking team to win, and then they come out like they're either the worst team in the game or the best team in the game, and I don't know which one the fuck it is anymore.
Yeah, I went 3 for 1.
Did you go 3 for 1 on your predictions?
Yeah.
Did you actually? Oh, it's not bad actually.
Yes, sir.
So the only one you got wrong was the phase optic, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, not too bad.
Hey,
I mean,
but I told you about those Ultra boys. I told you.
I mean, we're gonna talk about it. We'll definitely get to the Ultra boys, but you know, I don't know if it's too much Vanguard. I think it's just more just COD in general. It's just day to day, man. Whatever team comes out and plays the best on any given day, like anything can happen, right? So we got a few results that I don't think a lot of people expected, but you know, not surprised at it. You know, especially the phase optic one. We'll talk about it. But let's get into it, man. We're gonna hop right in and talk about this first series. Switching on over, we got NYSL going up against the Paris Legion to kick things off. We got Bocage Hardpoint to start it, Berlin S&D, Gavitu Control, Gav Hardpoint, and Bocage Search. What did you guys think about the vetoes? Anything that caught your eye?
I mean, veto wise, I think it's just benefit New York.
Yeah,
I think they've been playing Gavutu even before other team struggles, and they got 2 of them in the series. And then Bocage, I think, has been like the first map of like all their series at this tournament. I think
almost, and even before that, that was always a comfort pick for them.
Yeah, so
we used to roast them because they would pick it with Clay, like.
Yeah,
it's always been their favorite.
They've been continuing the streak of winning the Bocage, and their hard point looks amazing. This entire event, dude, New York just looks like a new team, literally.
What do you think it is? Do you think Kismet just came in and I feel like Kismet right now is just doing a lot of dirty work for them. He had 2+ minutes in the hill time on Bocage, and listen, man, like soaking time on Bocage is like super important. The hill's white a lot of the time on Bocage. Those players who are unselfish and is constantly milking those 5 or 10 seconds, it adds up, man.
Yeah, he's the vocal sub, man. I think that's something they lacked. Even with Neptune, I mean, Neptune probably wasn't the most vocal player. He's kind of just like a silent killer, just like Jerome and stuff like that. But also, Kismet's pacing is just better than his. Like, no offense to Neptune, but Kismet's just all around a better player at the moment, and it just suits their team a lot more. It's you're getting production out of every single player on the team. He just sort of brought a different look to this entire roster.
Yep, we got it.
I was just gonna say I'm all for giving kids his flowers, but I honestly, I mean, I just think Krim, Paul, and Hydra were a really good trio, and they just needed one SMG player that was gonna play with pace, and this team was gonna find success. Like. I was calling for it even when they made that switch back to Neptune. Like, if they just would have just not done that and made some change, they would have been fine then. Kids has obviously came into the system and played very well, but this team was just as good beforehand. They were missing one piece.
Yep. Well, listen, we got to listen in from the New York subliners. Let's see how the boys are coming. In my opinion, New York was in full control of most of this map. I felt like they just held on to their lead pretty well, but let's see how the boys are coming.
Yo, I'm flying at you. One more, 2 plants. Stay down. I kill the subs. 2 ARs. One more.
No, absolute low left.
One shot low left. Kids. I'm coming, kids.
Yeah, low left still.
Low left.
He's close on you.
I died. One more. Hole. Last guy. Hole.
Still there, Jimbo.
Still there. Yep.
Is he dead?
No.
Absolute, I got naded. Still Zig, telling you. He's running at you.
I got you.
Nice. Play your life.
Don't shot. He's Lamar tank.
Play your life, okay, Paco?
Yeah,
Lamar tank,
one shot. Lamar tank, one shot.
I'll kill him now.
It's absolutely just still mind it.
He's dead.
Nice. Where are you at, Paco?
Top on me then.
Top. Go bump, Porter. Go. Let's go. Yep. I'm going to the left.
Nothing on initial.
Look over me, low left. I'm gonna hit this.
No. Oh.
On the half wall. On the wall.
Up top.
Yo, one shot on the back half wall. His.
I'll get the back window.
One. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna nade tower.
Absolute on time, guys. Jimbo.
He's back,
I should've
back
waited. He's absolutely in that corner. Play kitchen with you. Behind you, camo tank, camo tank.
tower.
Camo tank, Tom.
Front kitchen me, front
Kitch,
kitchen.
Kitch going. Old ASD, old ASD,
Old
old
ASD.
ASD, John. He's absolutely on the
Stay
plat,
up
absolutely
top,
on the
stay
plat.
Jimbo, one shot.
John, one
Jimbo,
shot,
one shot on the
John,
heady.
one shot.
One shot on the heady.
No, on the street as well.
I'll
He's
go,
top tower,
I'll
top
go.
tower.
Top tower,
ASD, guys, ASD, front ASD.
I don't see
He's on
him.
the plat, he's on the plat. He's just
The comms have definitely elevated for the New York subliners, eh? They sound better
Yeah.
to me. They sound just
Yeah,
more
but that's-
energetic.
That's like almost every team when they make a change they all wanted to make, which I think it was clear that from the Twitter drama they all kind of wanted a change and they wanted it to be the two that obviously ended up being gone. So I think it's just a new look for this team as a whole. They're just excited to play with each other.
Yeah, no, I feel like Crimsix is also one player that we should highlight too. Crim's been doing his thing as well this year. I feel like all year Crim, I mean, in the interview, well, I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. Crim's interviews, whatever the hell you want to call whatever those are. He was even saying he felt like he didn't even have to do anything today, but I don't think he's giving himself enough credit. I feel like Porter's like a big part of this team. I feel like he's kind of like a backbone for them. And he was doing really well. He started off really hot this first map. He slowed down a little bit, but he was able to help build NYSL that lead. And in New York, we're able to clutch up on the boat cage. So good job out of New York to clutch up on the boat cage. Came out with a lot of aggression. Seemed like Paris couldn't hold on. Take a look at the scoreboard here towards the end of the game. A lot of buffers today, man, with the stream. There's nonstop buffering and stuff and freezing. I don't know what was going on today.
Yeah, a lot of lens today. I heard some fake crowd noise being pumped.
Yeah,
into
what
the-
was going on with that? What was
I
going
don't
on
know.
with the...
Fake crowd
Wait,
noise.
know what was
Cut out,
funny
bro.
too about that is like, bro, they haven't done a fake crowd noise at all the whole weekend, and then randomly out of nowhere,
Optic one, they played it. Yeah, bro. They got
Somebody-
Someone hit the wrong button.
you think so? That's what it seemed
Nah,
like.
they left it playing for a minute, bro, and it was right when Optic won, bro. So nah.
One thing to
Like, did they do it for
highlight.
the meme. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing to highlight is Tom went 39-23 in this boat cage hardpoint. They ended up outslaying New York and still losing by like what 70-80 points. So I'm not sure what was going on. Tom was definitely shitting.
I mean, New York's just playing the map better. Like they're just being more efficient.
Well,
And, like,
I think the difference maker is Kismet with 2 minutes and 19 seconds in the hill on boat cage.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a player that's getting time like that and he's diving into hills and on top of that, dropping 31 kills. Like he's helping you guys out a lot, man. So really good map from Kismet. Tom Gravity is trying to do all he can, but it just wasn't enough, man. Then we get into the next map. We get into a Berlin Search and Destroy. NYSL got off to a pretty good start in the S&D. I think they went up about 3-4-0. And then Paris, they started to bring it back after the fact. They started bringing it back a little bit. There's a few GA spots coming in. NYSL was able to clutch it up in the end. But what do you guys think? I'm very confused. Did you guys see the GA spots being broken? I don't know if you guys saw that.
It's just a plant, right? Jimbo plant.
Yeah, but they did it a couple times, and then I saw, I think it was Optic or who else was doing it, and I was just really confused because I was like, what is going on? Is it not G8 anymore? Because I see multiple teams doing it, and then I texted ASUM, and ASUM was like, nah, like it's still G8. I don't know what the fuck's going on, you know? So I was like, what the heck? Like, what the hell is happening?
Teams are going rogue.
Yeah, people are going fucking rogue, man. But one round that I want to highlight is this 3-2 round here from New York. Love this play out of them. They show a lot of presence towards the A side. Crimsix is going to play on that late flank. Sorry for the buffers, guys. This has been happening all day. Matter of fact, let's hit a resub or a refresh real quick. But what did you guys think about the Berlin S&D?
Right?
What happened?
That's the VOD. Why is it buffering on the VOD?
I don't know. I'm going to hit a refresh real quick and get into it again. There we go. Let's see if that's a little bit better now. But I like this round, this 3-2 round from New York. I like what they did here. So Crim is going to slow play the B site. He's just going to kind of play on an island. New York is going to show a lot of presence over here on the A bomb site. Then once Porter gets that pick B side, the New York boys decide to wrap this one back. Because Porter got the pick B, they end up breaking ankles a little bit. And you can see that some of the Paris guys ended up rotating over to A too because of how much presence was being shown over there. And then they pretty much just overwhelmed Donnie over here on this A site. Or B side, excuse me, and we're able to take the round. So I just like the heads up play there. I'm pretty sure Porter might have made the call after he got the kill to wrap that back, and just breaking ankles, right? I think that's what S&D is all about right now, is breaking ankles. A little bit of a mind game coming in, no?
Yeah, literally just easy reading them basically.
But then things got a little interesting after this. This is when Paris started to bring things back. One thing I didn't like in the next round, New York are doing their thing. But going into the 4-3 round, I didn't like where people were bringing the bomb. People kept bringing the bomb in such terrible fucking places, man. Bear with me here because there is a lot of just fucking lagging going on with the VOD. I don't know what's happening.
No, you're
today.
good.
But yeah, well, look at the bomb right now. Look at where the bomb is. If you're in New York, how the fuck they brought the bomb right in the middle of the map? And I'm not really too sure how it even ended up there. I think they kind of went for like a fast mid hit, like off the rip.
That looks like some enable London Dock shit. You remember that where he ran the bomb all the way to Crane?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, say eating cats and strays, but yeah. Oh, you can see over here that that New York just tried to go for an all-out mid hit. I've seen a lot of teams do this now on Berlin S&D. They'll try and like rush up mid and hit that tank just really fast, but they end up dropping a bomb there, and that pretty much chalks up this round for them. This allowed Paris to kind of just bring this one back, and then going into the 4-4 round, we saw a sniper trade. Have you guys ever seen a sniper trade before? Because I've never seen anything like that. This is the
I've seen one of those.
No,
this is the first
never.
time. This is the first time I've seen a sniper trade. The first fucking time. I've never seen anything like
Probably
that.
is actually the first time that's happened on stream.
So what was it? Was it on the cross here? I'm gonna lower the quality, chat, so it doesn't buffer as much. So I do apologize for that. But yeah, let's check it out. Right off the rip, Donnie Temp and Hydra with a sniper trade. That was the first time I've seen that. Oh wait, so people were saying it happened with Dashy and Simp, right? But it was the first time it happened this year. That happened in MW, I believe, with the sniper trades. But that was
I wouldn't
remember.
And this one comes down to a 1v1 between Tom. This almost came down to Crim having to clutch up. I thought he had this. Let's take a look at this play from Crim6 and see what he was able to do here. Bomb goes down. Porter's going to make a play on the site. He's going to take down Jimbo. Comes to a 1v1 between him and Tom. Tom's able to tag him up. Porter pulls out that pistol. And if Porter doesn't crouch there, I think he might have the kill. I think he might have been able to clutch that.
And why did he was like burgering his shots?
Because he was burgering his shots and burgering his
He just
movement.
got shook, bro.
Yeah,
didn't know how to react.
Yep, and then the 4-5 round. I mean, dude, this is just Paco making plays again. This guy Paco, man. Listen, I think Paco is like top 5, bro. Sub player. This guy's disgusting. This guy's actually insane.
Yeah, he's gross.
Just
Disgusting.
the things that he's able to do for this team is just he's so impactful on the map, constantly making plays and being a nuisance. And you know, it starts here with him just being able to finesse. It's a 2v3 situation on the site. They have the bomb down, and Paco just does such a great job forcing around 11 here. People said that maybe John should have had this kill. Soap, he's a big Paris fan in the team speak. He's rooting for his friend Tom. Was not happy right there with John when he didn't get that trade.
Oof.
But that's just what Paco does, man. It's what he does.
We were talking about this yesterday though. Like John has to step up on this Paris team, and even today he got fried. Like I think he had like a 0.7 ish in this series. Jimbo had like a 0.8. Like honestly, Tom and Timp were the only ones that were getting kills or shooting back, and I think that's been the story of this Paris team for me. Is like, okay, they got, you know, when they picked up Jimbo, he was struggling a lot, but now John is struggling a lot, and like Jimbo's picked it up a little bit, but still, it's like he's got to be better if this team wants to find some consistent success.
Right. No, I agree. John's got to have to step up a little bit. I've been really happy with Tom Gravity. I think he's been really performing. I don't know what the fuck he was eating this weekend, but he's definitely upped his game to a whole nother level. So you definitely want to see more from the sub players. But what did you think, Chris, overall from the S&D?
I mean, from the S&D, fucking New York,
round 11.
New York just looks like a whole different team, bro. Like their S&D's so good. Paul's a really good S&D player. Kismet's really good S&D player, and you're getting production of Crim and Hydra. Obviously, Hydra making some sick plays, but dude, they just look like such a completely different team. Like I'm actually glad they made it this far in the tournament because, like I said, I'm excited to see how they do against, you know, the top teams. So who do they play tomorrow? Do you know?
Not sure. We're gonna take a look at the bracket after we go over all the matches, and we'll take a look and give our predictions.
But like I said, I'm just excited to see them play against, you know, the higher echelon teams. It sucks that FaZe and Optic had to play each other, and Optic obviously doesn't have their full roster. But like, I want to see how they match up against, you know, those two teams and specifically.
Apparently, not having their full roster didn't even fucking matter. And we'll get to that when we get to that series. But you can see NYSL, Hydra again making plays in around 11. Good job from the whole team. I think New York has looked really, really good. And then we get into the control, man. Honestly, in the control, it was all defensive wins, man. Nobody won an offense. I want to go to the 2-2 round because I felt like Paris could have had this here. Take a look at the overtime round here. Paris is left on the offense. They're the team that has to make a play. Look at the lives here from New York. They have no lives left. And if you're Paris and you have a minute left and they only have 9 lives, they have to hit more go buttons, man. They have to go. New York has no lives, man. You have so much time to get a couple pushes onto that hill, work some trades, and just drain them by lives and win the round. But they just, you can see John, he's going to make a play. They try and push up a little bit, but New York just hold, and they just sit ring. Nobody from Paris takes her out. Chris, I'll ask you, do you think somebody from Paris should be hitting right, like trying to be a nuisance? Maybe green, like somebody take a route right instead of just flooding front?
Route or not, they had a guy top of the. They had two guys basically watching pinch. I think number 5 was at a point watching his pinch, and then the guy ring was watching like his pinch ring. They were playing it like New York was going to make the play on them, which would have made no fucking sense because they obviously didn't have lives. They're not going to make plays. They're going to play passively. And on top of that, they had a guy top ring. He can cover the entire backside of the point. All they have to do is bait and switch that the first cut, like, you know, by the gap by the tank.
Yep.
And instead, Donnie goes there by himself. He gets the first kill, and then no one else follows him up, and they just sit there. And it's just they were just way too fucking slow, and they just didn't read the situation properly, and they end up just losing because of it.
I agree. I didn't like the play at all. What did you think about this, Pat? I felt like Paris could have clutched this up here.
Yeah, but I mean, we've talked about it. Like, there's some, I don't want to say like missing pieces, but I feel like there's just some holes in Paris's game plan sometimes on all the maps, but especially here. I mean, I don't know.
All they had to do was multi-engage on this cut. They multi-engage on this cut, and it forces
taking their good ass time. They're taking, look at this, and they're solo pushing. Tom goes by himself. He dies. Then 5-10 seconds later, John's like, okay, I guess it's my turn.
And it just makes it so Crimsix in this scenario would have to basically overextend himself to cover the gap to the point after that, if that happens. But instead, they just solo engage.
Bro, Paris looks so much better this weekend. I feel like they're finally shooting good, right? I feel like maybe some guys need to step it up, right? You guys are talking about John and everything. But listen, this map needs to be a dub for them.
There's a man disadvantage.
They got a minute with 9 lives. New York's got 9 lives.
There's a man disadvantage, Tom, and there's literally one cut.
Yeah, no, and it's just
actually one cut they have to engage.
Just the solo chow after solo chow after solo chow just pissed me off. I immediately hit the notebook. I said, what are they doing? And New York ended up getting the 3-0. You can see the frustrations from Don. He said, oh, shit, here we fucking go again. And New York are saying,
ball don't lie.
Yeah, ball don't lie. Ball don't fucking lie. Listen, we can tune into the Crimsix interview or whatever the fuck it is if you guys want. But Jesus Christ, are these Crimsix interviews hard to watch? But let's tune in. Why not, huh? Well, let's just tune in and listen to this moron real quick. See what this guy had to say.
Goats, comes to goat. Listen, all right. It's arguable.
What is he talking about?
Screen right now.
Here we go.
Krim, congrats on the big win right there. But hey, I have to ask you, what were the comps like, and what actually?
This guy's lagging on the screen, bro. He said, "Why can't you guys shut up?"
Hey, yo, Krim, can you walk us through what happened at the end of Kavutu?
Well, the game lobby was lagging a little bit. Parker goes, "I'm lagging. I'm lagging. I'm lagging." I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, dude. It's 7-16. You better stop lagging. Like, stop lagging, Paco. And pretty much, like, I don't know. We just held. I feel like I'm not doing shit other than filling gaps.
Krim's got the ultra wide forehead.
You know, occasionally winning a 1, but I don't even see people right now,
to this moron.
Like, I literally don't even. I barely even get in gunfights. And
the team's doing a good job.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling getting carried. All right. To all of the people, oh, Scumps the goat, Scumps the goat. Listen, all right. It's arguable, all right? It's arguable, number 1. But number 2, getting carried is fun, all right? It's fun, but it kind of sucks same time, so it's kind of weird.
What is he talking about here? What is he talking about?
Listen.
He's just being fucking cringed. He's just being
let's
cringed,
talk about
bro.
Ant's his fit today. What you got going on there?
You like this, man? Some Club Monaco.
Cringe
It's a nice
6.
sweater. It's nice
Club
and cozy.
Monaco.
Yeah, it's nice.
I don't know
Krim,
about that joint.
Krim, let me ask you about round 11. So 4 S&Ds, 4 round 11s you guys have clutched up. Who's the IGL in those situations? Like, are you making the calls? Because everything's working out perfectly in those rounds.
Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, there's, what, 4 6-5s at this point?
Yeah.
Like, we're pretty clutch. We're pretty clutch. Half of the round 11s, I don't even freaking see anyone. You know, I might get an assist here or there. Okay, that Paris, not the Paris one, the war one. Yeah, I got a kill. Great job, Crim6. You didn't do much, but you didn't fuck up either. So it was, honestly, I don't really know what's going on. I'm just pre-aiming, watching across. All of a sudden, round over, we win. Yay.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful.
Team's playing great. Team's playing great. And
They are
you're looking
playing
good.
fantastic.
Thank you. Finally, a compliment out of Porterhouse himself. I feel good about myself.
There you go, Crim 6.
See what happens?
Pleasure, man. Oh, what's going on?
Yeah. It's been fun. Yeah, see,
Bro, I gotta know what Crim's skincare routine is.
Yeah, you're looking
Skin's
good
looking
as well.
nice.
You know?
This is positive vibes.
That's nice.
He might actually
Positive
make the run of
vibes.
this tournament now. He didn't diss me this time around. Well, thank you, Crim. This has
Wait.
been the Victory Spotlight.
Okay, Jesus, we're gonna cut that off now. Interesting interview coming out of Crim 6 Porter, but you know what, man? Crim is gold, man. He's a funny guy. You know, he's a little fucked up. He's got a couple loose screws, and you know that's how he is. He's a funny guy. He's always coming on these interviews and making people laugh. He gave Nameless a compliment today in the fit. Usually he's roasting his fit. Today he gave Nameless a compliment, so maybe it's opposite day. New York might go on and win this thing.
I think he's just in a good mood, man. He's in a good
mood, man. Shout out to Porter, man. He's a good guy, Porter. He's just having some fun. But let's get into the next series, man. We got the Florida Mutineers going up against Toronto Ultra. Take a look at the vetoes. Tuscan Hardpoint, Tuscan S&D, Berlin Control, Berlin Hardpoint, Berlin S&D. Pat, we'll start with you. Anything from the vetoes? Toronto, we're able to win a hardpoint today. What are your thoughts, man?
Also, Toronto's finally letting a Berlin hardpoint back into the rotation, and that's something that they were really good on in the beginning of the game, and then started just absolutely struggling on and getting world starts. So I'm glad to see they got a little bit of confidence back, and they're starting to play Berlin hardpoint. But yeah, not too much out of Florida's picks. They seem pretty routine.
Hey, what do you think, Chris? Anything crazy?
No, just looking at the vetoes, it looked like typical Florida vetoes that you would see outside of the Bokic hardpoint. I'm actually curious what they vetoed, or like what the teams vetoed, because usually I feel like in most of Florida's series, at least before, you would see either a Gavutu or a Bokic. But I'm not really. You don't see either of them in the series.
If you back it up, they showed it.
Yeah, we could. I could go back.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I didn't get to actually see.
Look at the timestamp 2:11. We could go back. I think it shows what they veto. So we could.
I'm curious if like one of those maps just isn't in Florida's rotation anymore. Do they not play Bokic anymore, or did the vetoes just work out like evenly for both teams?
So it looks like
Florida vetoed Bokic.
You're right. Yeah, Florida vetoed Bokic. Yep, and I guess Gavitu was for Toronto. Toronto vetoed Gavitu.
I guess they're just not confident playing that map against Toronto anymore or something. They might know something we don't.
Toronto's always been pretty good at that map. Like that, they've always been a coin toss on that one.
Oh, gotcha.
But
that makes sense.
To get into the Tuscan hardpoint a little bit, I mean, this was just a straight up Vivid show, in my personal opinion. This guy was 25-15, and I think it was the casters who were saying a little bit, or 35-19, excuse me. I think it was the casters saying that Florida hasn't really been playing the submachine gun maps. They've been playing a lot of Gav and a lot of Berlin. And now it's Vivid's time to shine. I mean, you put him on a map like Tuscan, and this guy was feeling himself, man. And I think a lot of people, sometimes forget how good this guy actually is. He's so hyper aggressive, and he's one of those players that is super impactful, always in your face. I mean, look at the scoreboard right now. I'm going to pause it right here at the end. He's 41-25. Nobody from his team even hit the 30 kill mark. Really good plays coming out of him. And then on the other side, Insight, what a tough map. Nobody can really keep up with him. Kleenex is trying to do everything he can, but Toronto just getting outslayed to the max. Vivid doing a really good job.
Like he's had him on Bocage. He'll always he's due for one almost every other series where he can just take over in a hardpoint map. So
yeah, I mean you don't really get to see it. You don't really get to see it because of the map choices. Like they've been playing a lot of Gavutu basically, like the majority of the time, and that's obviously a very hard map for a sub player. So I mean, it's good to see the Tuscan, come out and Vivid doing his thing on SMG map.
Yeah, let me ask you guys. Well, after Toronto lost his hardpoint, were you a little worried? Because to be honest, man, Toronto hasn't really won hardpoints prior. Like obviously they won one in this series. I'm saying as we were watching the series, the only hardpoints they won this week were against Strike X and Seattle, who didn't win a respawn. So I was still a little questionable after they lost his first map because I was like, is Toronto really elevated in their hardpoint? Had they gotten better at hardpoint? But what is it about Toronto that makes you guys think that they've improved? Do you see a difference in their gameplay? I heard Bance in the interview saying he's been focusing on it a little bit more.
Yeah, they're winning the maps.
Well, they won one map. They won.
Okay, I'm talking about with the other teams. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm just making a joke.
I just feel like the other teams that they beat in hardpoint were just not the best hardpoint.
I mean,
team.
Seattle's a good hardpoint team.
Yeah, but they didn't win a respawn, so I was like, damn, what the fuck? What happened to Seattle this weekend? They didn't win a single respawn.
Yeah,
for me, though, it's been Cammy. Cammy stepped it up. Like he's not even Kleenex too, but like they're no longer like throwing up those 0.8 stinkers. And I think those two guys on this team are so impactful that like they need to play well. And so those guys have seemingly stepped it up a lot and been a lot more consistent. But I think this team as a whole is just getting a little bit of their, their confidence back and staying true to what made them succeed in the first place was the fact that they have incredible teamwork and they just had to put it together.
No, 100%. And teamwork makes the fucking dream work. Let's take a look at the final moments of this game, man. It was really, really close. And you can see Toronto was going to be that team that got there to that P1 rotation. This was the third P1. And Caesar Skies was able to pick up the streaks. And I love the setup from Florida when he calls the streak in. They got one their side. They got a guy, Church. Got Caesar, obviously, in the streak. And they got a guy hitting mid. They do a good job spreading the map, holding on a lane. Caesar's going to get one guy in Hill. One guy's running for his life. Vivid's going to catch him off guard. And that's going to allow Florida to get into that site. So just a really good break from Florida. Toronto got back in there, but they didn't allow Toronto to hold and pick up any time. They made it mixy. They were able to finish it here on this last P1. So just really good streak usage. I feel like a lot of teams have been getting way better with their streaks. Even at Lake Thieves, they had a couple good streaks. We'll pull them up when we get there. But good job from the Florida boys. Again, we'll look at the scoreboard. Vivid, 41 and 25. Jesus Christ, guy had almost 5,000 damage. Guy was all over the map. On the other side,
28 untraded kills too.
Insane. 28 untraded kills is nuts, man. Like, that's crazy. So just good plays. But then we get into the Tuscan Hardpoint, and this was a little bit of the opposite. This was more of a Toronto show going into the S&D. And this is what Toronto does, man. The S&D, I feel like, is kind of like their bread and butters, man. They came out hot. Insight had the sniper out. He was 6 and 2. Kleenex was getting super aggressive on the map. Just really good plays from Toronto. What do you think it is with this Toronto team?
Their teamwork is what they, really excel at overall. I mean, their mid-round adjustments are good. Their ability to pop two pieces in unlikely situations is high. And they seem to always win the rounds that they should win. And I think that's the one thing that, stands out for them when we talk about other teams who like LA Thieves, who sometimes just don't win the fucking rounds that they just should win.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that they're the best S&D team in the game by any means, but I still remember ever since they got Insight on the roster back in Cold War. I still remember, I think one of the first series they played with Insight, they did lose the series, but Insight was popping off. It was I think it was like a Miami S&D where he dropped like a crap ton of kills. I just remember ever since they added him to the roster, their S&D just got a lot better. And it carries over, obviously, from game to game.
Well, S&D's their best game mode, right? I mean, prior to this, yeah.
Like, but they also went on a fucking massive hardpoint loss streak. So
yeah, their hardpoint has not been good. Yeah. So hardpoint's definitely not their best game mode. I just felt like they were hanging on to series because of their S&D.
That's fact. Oh, we were 100%. Talking about that's how they push game 5s a lot.
Yeah. They were making plays. They had Toronto had a really good retake here. Dave Patty was trying to go for the 1v3. You can see what he was trying to do here, right? Kind of delaying his shots, trying to get a little closer to him, maybe able to pick up his gun. But unfortunately, that guy had a sniper. He didn't even pick that up. Toronto was able to get the kill, get the retake. Good plays out of them. Florida started bringing it back a little bit. They brought it back. They started changing their pace up a little bit. They got a couple rounds. I think they won this round here, forced it to a 5-3. On defense now on Tuscan, you see a lot of teams now just getting mid-map control because of the spawn difference and shit. After they changed the spawns up a little bit, it changed the way this map was played. You see a lot of teams on offense now just trying to play for picks and trying to find gaps on the map. Good job from Florida to go 5, bring it up a little bit instead of just getting smoked. But it was here where Toronto was just able to end it. And let's look at the way it ended, man. Bance was able to clutch up the 1v1. Got a little sketchy here, folks. A little sketchy. We're going to fast forward here, and you're going to see Benjamin Bance, right? He's going to get tagged up on that A-bomb site. He's going to try and make a play. He's going to make a flank. He's going to shoot at Dave, but he doesn't finish the kill. And then Bance thinks that he goes, you. Not sure what Dave's play here was. I didn't like the play Dave made. He got out, and then instead of, continuing to run or just jump the corner and challenge back, he kind of, jumped on the box and just it seemed like he didn't know what to do, right? It kind of seemed like indecisive, almost like kind of like a scared play in a way.
Yeah, and then he didn't commit. He just sat there and didn't.
With 10 seconds here, right? It's at 11 now. If he stays tucked into this corner and makes Bance have to run at him and push him, I don't even know if Bance has enough time to go. But if he forces Bance to run out and have to push him, I don't know if he's gonna have enough time to get back. I just feel like he's super close. You either need to challenge the guy or stay down, and he did a shimmy in between, didn't really know what to do. He kind of was a little indecisive there. You got to be decisive in SC.
I think he just tweaked, bro. I still remember one thing about Dave. Yeah, because from Challengers, I still remember one thing about Dave. There was this clip from back when he was on Triumph and MW where Yeah, I still remember Nagafin flipping on him for it. But he like had a sniper, and all he had to do was like pre-aim. Instead, he like tried jumping off and like quick scoping, and like just completely butchered the round. So I'm just getting flashbacks to like, you know, Dave tweaking, because he can be that kind of player, unfortunately.
Listen,
but
I might sound like a hater here, but I think this Florida team would be so much better without him. Going through all their series, he has by far and away the least engagements every series, the least kills, least deaths, like least damage most of the time. I just feel like he's not being very efficient. Like he's just not doing anything. It's obviously his role on the team.
Back in there at the last second. But Toronto almost won the offense here. You see a lot of teams on Berlin control. They fight for that B point early because it's so difficult to get it through the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And Toronto didn't even clutch up this round. They never even got this B point. They were able to collapse on A and get the 8 point. But Florida was able to hold on to that 1 tick. But because they got 2 ticks here in this first round on B, that led to them getting the defense in the overtime. And we'll go into the overtime and we'll watch the map play out because it was all defensive wins. But what is it about Berlin controlling that B point that you think makes it so difficult to get?
Well, I think the map plays a lot like Raid, and I think like the train station, the B point is a lot like the mansion point. You can kind of just flood through that lane and spawn the other team on the opposite corner of the map. Obviously, Berlin's a bigger map, so it's even harder to get across to the certain points. It's not like you just spawn in garage, but it plays very similarly. You just basically like flood one side, push them to the corner towards the easy side. The apartment point is basically like the ring point from Raid. You can easily cap it on offense, but B, that's where the entire game relies on, just like Raid. And although this map was close, the one thing that I've noticed is Toronto looked like this is a comfortable map, like that they like to play. I think they've played it in like 1 or 2 of their series, maybe all of them. I don't really know. But they look comfortable on this map. And guess what their best control was, or one of their best control was in Cold War? Raid. It plays a lot like it. I think they're going to continue to try to, like, you know, play this map as many times as they can when they do have the influence over the control pick.
Have we seen a lot of Tuscan controls recently? It's been a lot of Berlins, and we got a couple Gavs recently. We haven't seen Tuscan control, I don't think. I think, are people just vetoing that? I thought Tuscan control, when speaking to the pros, everybody says that's the best control map, but it's weird to see nobody playing.
I think it is the best map, but when you're talking about like head-to-head series, I think if you think you're outgunned by the other team's subs, like you're just going to get rid of it. Or if you think your team is a better AR team, which I feel like there's a lot of those teams in this league right now where their AR players statistically are just better, or not only statistically, but they're just better players than their sub players overall. So yeah. I think they're going to play to their strengths, but I don't know, dude. Berlin, Gavutu, like I don't care what map it is. I hope this is the last year we see control.
You want to get rid of it? You want to get rid of the game mode completely?
Yeah, I don't even care
what
comes back, but I just hope control is not the third mode.
What would you like to see? CTF, uplink? What are you feeling?
CTF's so dire on the maps, and I mean even control is. Honestly, all the third map swing modes are dire for you know, depending on how the maps are. But I mean, dude, anything other than control, something to switch it up.
Yeah, there's got to be something to change, because the map is the game mode is abysmal, and making maps that are good for it or playable is so fucking rare.
And we take a look at the final scoreboard here. Vivid again, just having an incredible map. He was trying to do everything he could here, but it just wasn't enough on the other side. Did they get... No, they didn't get outslayed. Did they get outslayed? Yeah, they did. I think they did get outslayed. You have Kleenex, -3. You have Bance, who's -6. Or -7. Yeah, they got outslayed, man. So, interesting that Toronto got outslayed. I feel like that's a common thing with Florida. They slay out, and they still lose sometimes. But you know, what are you gonna do in Florida or Toronto? They end up clutching up. Good plays coming out of them. And then we get into the Berlin hardpoint, and it was the second rotation where Toronto just went absolutely nuts here. We get into the second rotation of hardpoints. We'll go to this P1. You can see here it's pretty much a tie game. Toronto's got about a 10-point lead. But once we get into this second rotation of hardpoints, this is where Toronto kicks up. They get an early rotation over to this P1 hardpoint. They're able to lock down most of this time. You can see they got about 40-50 seconds on that. And then they just get a really good break onto the second hard point. You can see Florida. I'm not sure if I really like their setup here. I want to get your guys' opinions, because this is where Florida kind of lost it. Once Toronto kind of changed these two hills, this was pretty much all over. I feel like Dave needs to get right. They need to get pushed up right somehow. They should have been there earlier. Toronto beat them a little bit. I thought Dave was just gonna go around right like warehouse and probably play a little bit deeper, you know, and kind of focus that kill a little bit more. But he ends up getting gunned. They all get gunned. And last one up is Big Wig. He gets traded out, and Toronto get the flip instantly. What did you guys think right there? You think Florida could have done anything better there?
I think Toronto just shit on them, but this flip is the flip is good. The flip is good in Florida situation going into the next hill, but they just had to find a way to break. But Toronto was just way too good at holding.
Yeah, they hold all of this P2, and then going into the P3, they ended up breaking the P3, and that just skyrocketed them through the rest of it. There's a listen in here from Toronto Ultra. Let's see how the boys are calming when they're going on this little spree. Let's tune in.
It was a foot race on that rotation, and Florida just had a snail in the race.
Dude, come on, dude.
Come on, man.
My bad.
Move it on time, move it on time. It's front. I can have it. Listen, this break. Yep. Mobbing up. You guys play that set. Is it one more? Two. One stocks. He's in. Back door. Nice. One's gonna be fire.
Yep. Wait up if you're front.
Yeah, well, one's low. Low.
I have a kill.
Nice, you chip.
You can see Bance. He's gonna get here early. They're gonna work picks, and they're gonna get these back spawns.
I'll see him.
Small, back door.
One shot, by the pillar, absolutely.
Play life. Nate together. I'm just holding the back caddy.
He is small.
And you expect... So you can see how Toronto did it, right? They had Bance get through fire. He's going to get pushed up. Some kills are going to come in from his ARs, and he's going to push out that spawn. And just like that, Toronto flip out. They get into that time, and they pretty much just win it there.
I don't know if Florida had room, you know, before the Toronto push came in, but I've said this before when we would talk about this map, giving up like docks and like trying to hold like tight from that spot and not applying. You don't want to like full on hit the old hill, but you want to apply the pressure docks because that basically just stops their entire rotation to the back. Instead, they get jumbled up by the back door, and they give Toronto so much space to push up this street for fucking free, and then they get broken.
Yeah,
like,
I definitely think they got to get more aggressive towards dock side. Like, somebody needs to help out. Dave Patty right now is pushed up docks. He should have some help. Somebody should be looking over him.
Like, what the fuck is this?
I don't know. Somebody should be looking over him because that's priority. Every team is going to push docks and push the back.
Go a little bit further back
here.
Go a little bit further back and see like how like Dave. Okay, so Dave's there.
Number 5 had an opportunity, right? Like number 5, Vivid just spawned. Number 8 just spawned. They should immediately back up and try and get that streak control. Instead, they kind of turtle, right? They just all turtle and hill. Nobody helps Dave.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's helping Dave right there.
Yeah, Dave also played just a shitty spot. He should have just played behind the truck. And he tried to get too like creative. There's like a little like sandbag thing that he like tried to like get behind so they wouldn't see him. You just play the fucking truck. You have a head glitch, or at least even play like on this back like head glitch.
Back head glitch. That's what I was gonna say. That back head glitch is OP.
Yeah, I feel like whenever we see another player sitting there, they just go on streaks. The last one I remember was like Major Maniac.
Major Maniac, that's his head glitch. He loves that head glitch. Major Maniac is always on that shit. Always.
Yeah, they just didn't prioritize the docks, and they ended up like, you know, punishing them.
Man, Major Maniac, good times, man, good times.
Oh, he might be the 5th for Florida.
Bro, we might need to get Mike back in there, man. We gotta get.
Bro, Pat, you're always talking about how they fucking don't need any more ARs, and you want to bring out another AR to the squad.
but Major's kind of nice with it though.
He is nice with it.
Yeah, he's got some pace on him too.
There's also some players and challengers that are making a name for themselves. You got Hicksy, you got Scrappy, you got Mohawk, you got this guy, boom. There's all kinds of people that are making names for themselves now. So we'll see if people end up making changes moving forward, or if they want to stick with their rosters.
It's a snail, bro. He's squiggling around.
He's on the hill. What do you want him to do? He's on a hill, Pat. He's on a hill and shit. He's on the hill, bro. He's fucking vibing. But it just wasn't enough. Toronto, they built so much of a lead from the... Bro, they chained P1 and P2. They broke P3. They were just able to build a lead, and they were able to clutch up. Toronto, are they back, guys? Is Toronto back?
I mean, they're breaking hills, but they've always been pretty good at breaking hills. They just, before they were trolling on holding hills, but I think they're playing solid. Yeah, they only beat Florida here in the series, but overall, I mean, I think they've gotten their confidence back, and I think that's what's that was the biggest key for them to get back to where they were. So we'll just see as time goes on, but I mean, I'm definitely impressed by how they've played so far.
Yeah, definitely an improvement. But again, bro, I'm done giving people their props, because every time I give people their props, they just turn around, they start getting fucking shit on. But we got to see them. We got to see them playing against FaZe, Optic, because those are the only, you know, those are the the biggest competition in the CDL right now. Everyone else, it just seems like every other team, anyone could win.
Yep. No, I agree. Let's get into the next one because this was a banger of a series. It's time to go over to FaZe versus Optic Texas. We got a Gavitu Hardpoint, Tuscan S&D, Berlin Control, Tuscan Hardpoint, Berlin S&D. Gentlemen, anything to talk about here? Anything that catches your eye in the veto process?
No, pretty
Another Berlin
standard
Control.
stuff.
It seems like everyone likes playing this map.
Yo, Optic finally learned their lesson on that Bocage, though.
They what?
They finally learned their lesson on Bocage.
Oh,
Yeah, to not play FaZe on it.
not play FaZe
Yeah.
on it. Well, I want to note something here. A little bit of a weird spawn coming in. FaZe was up about 50, right? Up about 50, but they end up getting pinned into this back P4 spawn trap, and we know how scary it can be when you get pinned into these spawn traps. But then look what happens here. Optic end up getting all the kills, and people start flipping out. Because they got 4 dead, and I think it was number 4, Seth, maybe because he was pushed up a little bit, but because they killed all of them, they ended up flipping out. And that's just one of those things where squad spawning is fucking ass.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with him being pushed out. It's
Yeah,
literally just 4 dead.
it's just 4 dead, and it's like shit like that is so dumb. You know, like teams are literally getting fucking penalized for frying.
Yeah,
you
you know
know?
what's crazy though?
I was
Optic
about to say
literally
you can't fry anymore. In God,
Optic,
Yeah,
Optic
like-
immediately knew. Like they turned around as soon as they got the 4 dead, they all
They
turned.
knew. They were like, "Fuck, we just killed all 4."
happens all the fucking time.
Yeah. It's
And
just
then-
like this has been a thing since Modern Warfare with the squad spawn system, right? And the fact that like sometimes teams are just mind blown that this happens. Like at least Optic is learning from their mistakes because this, I think that happened to them. I still remember, what was it, Major 2 when they lost to Florida or something? I don't remember anymore. It's been a while, but they're the people are learning from their mistakes, or at least Optic is. Which is good to see.
Yeah. And again, I feel like maybe Optic would have been able to chain a hill there, like the P4, P5 chain. They had them all spawning in the back. They had the bolt control. They had the ring control. They might have just been able to kind of chain some hills and maybe take a lead or tie it up. But instead, FaZe just kind of, they get lucky, man. They all 4 die. It might be a strat to fucking everybody run at the hill and die at the same time. It might be
At the same time, yeah.
It might be a strat.
You deadass can't just punish people anymore. I think that's the biggest thing about, it makes me think of that Joe Seacott interview where he was just like, I forgot what he said specifically, but basically they wanted to lower the skill gap. And
Yeah.
you just can't punish people. Like you can't put people in traps like you used to.
It's a direct implementation of that ideology is how the
Yeah.
system works. Because if you think about it, the game reads you going 4 dead as you're getting smoked. So what's it do? It bails you out of the situation. That's literally all it is. It just gets you away from it.
And it was a spiral effect. Once the spawn happened, I mean, look, Optic didn't even get a point after that. They were getting pummeled. They were getting absolutely pummeled on this map. FaZe came out and took care of business,
best
man.
team in the game.
Well, Pat, what happened today with FaZe? What in your honest opinion, what do you think happened?
Honestly, in the long
Their
run,
S&D is terrible.
Yeah. In the long run, I think FaZe is playing this really smart, right? They know this is the Pro-Am. There's not a lot on the line. Optic's
Nah,
playing with
you're
a sub.
tripping.
They're playing,
just trying to piss
the
people off,
200
dude.
IQ long con, and I think when come Major 3, you're gonna really realize that this was honestly the right play out of FaZe. I think it was an absolute finesse. Yeah, they'll let Optic get one here. No big deal.
Bro, what do you mean? They have 4.
It's a Pro-Am.
What do you
Doesn't
mean
mean
let
nothing.
Optic? You think they let Optic win? Get the fuck out of here.
Optic is
FaZe
4-0.
Think about this. FaZe is back-to-back grand finalists. The only team in the game that can say that. Back-to-back. And so I think it's a 200 IQ, long con play here. So we'll see. But honestly, I wasn't very impressed. Optic, did the Neslo. Congrats if you want to take, if you want to be happy about Nesloing a team. That's usually what the worst team does.
Wait, didn't
anyway,
Optic win a hard point?
Yeah, I mean, 2 S&Ds.
No, it's not. No, it's
That
not.
ain't Neslo. Neslo's 235.
235.
235 is a Neslo.
It's not winning hard
Trust me,
point.
I bullied Neslos for years when he was trying to Neslo me. That
It's
is
the
literally the
235,
Neslo.
bro. Anyways,
What do you
listen,
think, Chris? Chris, what are you
listen,
thinking before?
Listen, Pat said his piece. He's
Gotta
fucking
sneak a
fried.
respawn.
Listen, FaZe is good. FaZe is consistent. We all know this, but the one thing that FaZe is also consistent at in fucking Vanguard is losing to fucking Optic. It doesn't fucking matter what roster, who the fuck is playing on this team. They're fucking losing to this team. They have a fucking mental block.
What's their
That's the-
S&D?
I
In
don't
my
know what
in
it
my
is, bro.
opinion.
Consistent enough, not making it to back-to-back grand finals like FaZe. And that's just a fact. Only one team in the game has done that, and it's the best team in the game.
Bro, but it doesn't matter, bro. If you ain't first, you're last, bro. Like that's all
not
it is.
how averages work, Chris. But I'll let you rock.
Okay,
to give say that FaZe is the best team in the game.
To give my opinions.
So does the CDL Pro Point leaderboard. But go ahead. Tom.
I think right now Optic just outclasses FaZe and S&D, and I think S&D wins championships. It wins you series, and FaZe right now get outplayed in their searches and destroys, and it's not even a question. When you watch Optic, you can tell that they're just playing FaZe like a fiddle, and they're breaking down their setups, and they're ready for a BZ going rogue. They're ready for everything that FaZe has to bring to them. FaZe is gonna have to start adapting and getting more creative in their S&Ds, because when it comes to playing Optic, they always lose the searches. And that's what makes Optic the better team right now, is that they just win their S&Ds. You know what? That's what's called getting Neslo'd, right? The 2-3-5. Optic was able to take a hard point from them as well, but I definitely think the S&Ds is hurting them. And I don't know what the problem is with FaZe and S&D. What do you guys think is the main problem in their searches? Simp had the sniper out today. I feel like he hasn't really sniped too much throughout the year. He's trying to change it up a little bit now. But is there anything that catches your eye, Chris or Pat, in S&D that you think FaZe just needs to change up?
I mean, it's hard to tell, but like you got to think if you go to that Berlin S&D when Scump makes the play and he gets through broken, you got to think that's probably happening in multiple rounds where they're just like leaving a gap open. Maybe they're not communicating properly. They just look sloppy in search and destroy. I can't really point out anything specific. It's just that one play kind of resonates with me with how they're losing S&D. When the opposite for Optic, they just look decisive. Like all the time, they seem like they cover everything, and you're getting production out of everyone, even without Illy, who's their S&D, mastermind, right? They're still playing really solid search and destroy at all times. Like, and it goes to credit to the entire team, dude. They're disgusting at search, and it's the most consistent game mode in this game, by the way.
To be honest, though, I think FaZe is just forcing it. I mean, you saw Alex tweet like, "Oh, I'm literally grabbing bombs and running a sub." Like he's their main AR. I feel like they're honestly just forcing it, and they're not playing with like a natural pace in search. And I like Simp just deciding to snipe out of nowhere. Like, yeah, he's a talented sniper, but like they're just randomly doing shit, and I think they're just forcing it. I think if they just let the game come to them and play more with a natural flow, they'll be better off.
You think they're just overthinking it?
Yeah, for sure. With a team as talented as that, absolutely.
I want to highlight General a little bit, man. I just want to give General his shout, man, because the first day General is not. He didn't play his game, right? He didn't play too well. He's getting thrown into a system. It's very difficult to do. In this round, the 4-2 round, this is a really big round. He was able to find 2 before he falls with the snaps. He played great all day today. There were times where I was like, dude, Dashy, Scump, and fucking Shotzzy need to step it up and help General, because General is fucking piecing up. I just didn't like the way people were dragging General's name after the first day, and it was cool to see him step up to the plate and perform and drop good numbers.
No, it's the nature of the green wall, Tom. Like they're just
I know.
They're never gonna shit on the
We gotta give him his shout. We gotta give him his flowers, man.
Somehow finesse their fans to believe that they play for them. No bullshit. I feel like some of the Optic fans act like they're on the team, and like if someone gets shit on, it's like they costed the fan their experience. So.
Well, I just feel
I think General's solid, and I mean he's gonna play well. One off day does not.
Yeah, I just the way people were talking about him, I was like, part of me was like, General. I just hope General turns up, and does his thing, and he did that, bro. He did that against a very good team, against one of the best teams in the game. So give General his shouts, ladies and gentlemen. Guy's the real deal. Guy came in as a substitute, popped a 2-piece in his 4-2 round.
Outside of just this series and just this situation, Pat put it best yesterday, because this is the Pro-Am, right? Like, granted, we're at a point in the tournament where there are no amateurs, at least teams. There's still a lot of amateurs or, very recently just turned to professionals from the challenger scene that are showing out in this entire tournament. And I agree with Pat in that, a full amateur team, right, isn't always going to make, tons of noise. But there's a lot of valuable pieces out there in challengers that you put them in the right system. You put them with, a couple veterans, a couple superstars here and there. They can make some very solid pieces to a lot of these teams. And you see it. You've been seeing it throughout this season, throughout every season, as more and more challengers get their chance. So big shout out to General, but big shout out to all the challenger players that are doing it up, in the pro scene, or when they, get substituted into their.
I mean, individual talent has never been the problem, I think, in in challengers or any amateur environment. Like, there's obviously some very talented individuals, but as far as the AM teams go, they're never going to be able to match up against the pro teams. Just
I mean, they should never be able to. It shouldn't even be a question. If anything, the fact that there is a question should be a testament to how talented some of these AMs are, not just the teams. It's just because, bro, you know how I come from obviously being in challengers recently, or before I retired, bro. We have like no support down there. Like, this is the most we've gotten in forever. Like, there hasn't been an event. It's fucking terrible down there. I feel for every single one of the players.
That's what led me to get into it, Chris. Honestly, I thought maybe, you know, I can get more support.
Yeah,
down
you can
there,
make a positive fucking influence, bro. And you did a great job. But it's hard being down there, bro. And like I said, props to those players for dealing with it and not letting it kill their fucking shine. Because you see it with players like General, bro. This guy's been underrated. He hasn't got the opportunity. He was right before he got sent to the gulag of the AM scene. The guy was, I think, what place, like third or fourth? Was it fourth at Champs in Black Ops 4, and then just got sent to hell in the challenger scene? Like, bro, it sucks being down there. And you know, for a lot of the challengers, you know, props to them, dude, because they're trying their best out there. And for everyone that gets their opportunity, a lot of them are finding ways to play well.
Yeah, but I know the Stallions, I know some things happen and stuff, but we're definitely going to bring the team back, man. Maybe towards Champs time or something, I'm going to bring the Stallions back. I think right now I'm just taking a little break. Challenges was becoming a little bit of a headache, because you know how it goes down there, Chris, with the team changes and people always changing and this and that. I said, you know what, maybe we'll bring it back for Champs, but right now we're gonna take a little bit of a break. But you guys see that pistol kill, by the way, before we get into Brucey closing this game out and calling game with the sniper? Did you guys see the pistol? How is this not GA'd yet?
Bro, we talk about it every week.
But then we saw that clip of Krim with the pistol, and it was just like a completely different POV.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's not. I mean, yeah. Chris Simp has always been good with the pistol. Always. Every game he's good with pistols. I just think the way, how fast people die by it, I just think is unacceptable.
It's absurd, yeah.
They got to lower the range on it, in my opinion. They got to somehow lower the range. So
rate of fire, range.
Rate of fire, bro.
And then we get into the S&D, and Dashy starts playing Val. Starts playing Valorant, starts playing CSGO. He just starts working some angles, man. It starts off the rip. He peaks Simp. You can see Simp. This was a battle all game long with the snipes. Dashy's going to find Simp off the rip, Presence well, and he's going to end up picking up a BZ. BZ's going to try and nade him out. And Dashy with that little spot's going to make it a 4v2 situation within 30 seconds. And that's going to be able to let Optic to just close out this map and tie this series up at once. So really good plays from Brucey with that snipe. Good to see him pulling it out. Shotzzy ended up double pause, 10-5. Dashy 7-4. Over on the other side, you know, everybody pretty much struggling except for Simp. He was 9-5. He was doing pretty good work with the snipe and the pistol, trying to keep the team in it, but it just wasn't enough in the end. And then we head over to the control. Any final thoughts on the S&D, gentlemen?
The Optic dominating in search. That's all there is. All there is to it. FaZe is just not very good at the game mode right now.
No, I agree. Pat, any final thoughts?
Nah, just, you know, that's what a team does when they're going for a Nesla. They win the searches.
Let's get into the control, man. We got a Berlin control. Listen, man, the first round, it's a Scump shell. First round, Scump caps B, literally solo dolo. He does it by himself, and we're going to show you guys exactly how he did it. He's going to start from low secret. He's going to make this play through middle map. Let's see how he decides to finesse here. He's going to take Celium out there, jump the corner, takes care of his team to kind of get pushed up, get down to that point, and get the B point. And we know how difficult it is to get that B point.
Scump's level of play, dude, for how long he's been doing it is crazy, bro. He's actually just, like, gross.
No, he's disgusting. This guy's inhuman. He's fucking pushing that B side. We know how hard it is to get, and that allows Optic to trying to just slow play the kills. It's very, very easy to get that A site, personally. I think that A site is like one of the easiest sites in any control map. Seems very, very easy for people to get. And then the next round, I'm like, okay, Optic was such a great start, right? There's no way FaZe are going to win the offense, but they do exactly that. Off the rip, FaZe have one of the most impressive breaks. They get a 4 clean dead right off the rip-a-rooney, and Optic immediately are like, forget it. They chalk it right off the rip. They don't even try to break it. They just say, you know what, chalk it up. Let's go to A. Which, did they not have time to try and break this? I know they're stacking, like, but it's hard. It's hard. They got to use their tax or something.
What? They got one lane, bro. They got one doorway. They're not breaking this shit, especially if they get a stack in. Like, bro, by the time they even get relatively close to the point, it's probably 3/4 of the way cap. Right. That shit is chalked, brother.
Right. So for me, I was like, okay, Optic, they won the offense. I was like, okay, they're set up now. They're probably going to go on and win this map. And then FaZe, they come out with that break like there, and they win the offense right back. So just a really good play out of FaZe. And then another thing by FaZe is Optic won their round from lives. FaZe was able to win this from ticks. So, you know, that's going to help them if it were to go to the overtime. And then we get into the next round. FaZe get into the defense. They end up clutching up on a D. And then FaZe win another offense. They somehow get into this B site. And, you know, we'll see how they did it. You can see one guy pushing in the middle of the map. They're kind of just flooding through front. I like how somebody took a route, though. Somebody went mid. Somebody was being a nuisance middle map. And that was number 8, Mr. MC. And then once they get the kills, he decides to drop back a little bit. aBeZy does a great job using his tags to slow down the push, throws those stuns out. And that forces Optic to just kind of get aggressive. They have no other play. Nobody can take a route. Those takes are going up quick with 3 guys on a point. And aBeZy just making absolute plays. He ended up 22 and 16 in this one. So really, really good plays coming out of FaZe. We can take a look at the final scoreboard here. Shotzzy 20 and 20. Everybody else negative. Dashy had a little bit of a rough one. Go look on the other side. aBeZy 22 and 16, like I just said. Cell 18 and 14. Simp and Alec trying to doing whatever they can, but good map coming in from the FaZe guys. What's going on, Pat? You arguing with people in the chat and shit?
No, I'm paying attention to Tom. What's good?
No, just fucking with you, man. What's up, Chris? What's up?
I was gonna say, dude, the map is literally raid. If you lose B, you're chalk. It's like trying to hold. It's like trying to hold ring in fucking raid control. Yep. Like it's hopeless. You lose B, game over. It's just it's kind of like, it even plays kind of like Gridlock. If you lose fucking what was it, the highway point right away for some reason, you lost. Like chalk the round up. Unless you start getting in their base and start world starring, you're gonna lose.
Yep. And then we get into the Tuscan Hardpoint. It was pretty back and forth on the first rotation. I want to hop right into the listenings. We start with an Optic Texas listening. We go into the Atlanta FaZe listening. Let's tune in. Scumpy was getting hyped during this one, so let's listen.
Side you. I have their side.
Yo, A push up,
I have their side you.
Yo, outer. Let's go outer. I'm one shot. Our side outer. Alec, watch your side. I'm close side. Shit on. 2 seconds.
I have their side.
I'm mid. I'm push that. I'm gonna rotate. I got it. Their side. Yeah, their side. Their side mid heady dead.
Yeah, they need to be got. They're hitting through.
Look at General. 18 and 12.
I'm backing up.
Putting on a show.
Make sure he holds sponsor.
He's already in front. Inside green.
Hold sponsor behind me.
They're short, guys. They're short.
Here, I'm marking.
Send your short. Yo, close right.
Short right now. They got my reaping.
Chalice with you, Sam?
Let's see anything short. I'm holding plant. I'm holding plant.
Yes.
He went to the back, guys.
I don't see him in time.
Flat dead.
He's still in the back.
He's short.
He's
Short.
Absolutely outside time.
It's 7 in a row, and Scup is pooping on people. He's fired.
I'm climbing up.
Now we go on board with Atlanta FaZe.
Chimney.
That was a quick transition. I like that.
You, I can hit this whenever, guys.
Yep, you're best left.
We're every side.
Back God, Heady.
It's about to be a
little bit of a shorter listening from the Atlanta FaZe guys, but, you know, FaZe cracked per usual. Scump was getting turned up. Just really good plays out of them, but I just want to highlight General in this map, man. Again, just making plays, doing what he does. The listenings are fire. Scump was getting hyped up. It's always cool to hear Scumpy get hyped up, man. Just like the old days, you know, that passion comes out. And they're sitting close to each other, man. So they could probably hear each other, right? Unless they're pumping the fuck out of that white noise. You guys know how that be.
They probably are, yeah. They were diagonal though, weren't they?
They're diagonal, yeah, but they're pretty close to each other. They look pretty close. What do you got, bro? I don't know if you guys remember, but the white noise used to be annoying. You guys ever complain about the white noise when you were on stage?
Yeah, dude, sometimes they had it like
too loud. Yeah, like way too loud. You couldn't even hear the game sound. Bro, I remember there was one time where I couldn't even hear my game sound, and they taped the white noise. They taped it so you can't move it.
Yeah,
and they said,
"Ref, that whole like dial."
Yeah, they taped the dial. They wrapped it in tape so the players couldn't change it. And I said to the referee, I said, hey, I can't hear anything. Like, this white noise is so loud. He goes, it is what it is, man. Like, we can't change it.
It's the same for everybody. And it's like, I'm testing whoever's beside me. I'm like, no, the fuck it's not.
So this was after the 4 and 23 where the lights were in my eyes and these referees fucking lied to me. So at this point, I'm not getting along with referees. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on a good point. I said, motherfucker, what the fuck are you talking about? I unraveled the fucking tape. I took the fucking tape off. I took all the tape off. I lowered that shit and said, and put the tape back on at the last minute. I'm sitting here, I'm like, that white noise, man. I hope they're not fucking pumping that shit like they were back in the day. I see Kismet in the chat saying white noise is terrible. I'm guessing they're still pumping that shit into the headsets. But let's get into the final moments of this Tuscan Hardpoint. Back and forth the whole game long. It was a tied game going into the very, very end. And we're going to see exactly how Optic was able to break this last P1 hardpoint. You can see here that Optic was up with about 10 going into this last hardpoint, right? FaZe were able to break on in. First, I think a troll comes in from Dashy. I think Dashy trolled a little bit here. He kind of overchowed on rotation. He kind of slow peeks the corner. Alex waiting for him. That's going to give FaZe the pick that they need to get into this hardpoint because Optic were first there. Alex is going to slide on in. He's going to find another kill. Fantastic plays coming out of Arcitys. That's going to allow FaZe to make some plays onto the point. Arcitys is still going, still picking up kills. And this is where Optic need to break now. FaZe is on board to win. Dashy hits a really good nade. He makes up for the chow he made, hits a really good grenade, but this all comes from Scump. I don't know how Scump gets here. He gets one kill, right? And then he ends up dipping back, and it just seems like FaZe forgot about him. Did FaZe forget that Scump was here? What were the comms like? Because Scump just sits in his corner, and then look what happens next. He pinches him, shoots 2 guys in the back, and next thing you know, FaZe, they lose the map. What happened there? Where's the communication from FaZe?
No, they were just way too turn or
what
something.
Happened?
They actually just, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's actually weird.
I think what happened was whoever he killed first in their death cam called out. He went back to mid, and then when Simp came off spawn and went top broken, he probably said like, I got mid, nothing mid, but like completely ignored the fact that middle alley you can't see from top broken. So because
whoever Fallon?
No, they probably thought he hit you, but I'm saying like whoever was top or whoever came off spawn and like filled in and went tree, like just probably went off that comm and just completely ignored the mid flank because they thought he went back to you. So
I mean, you also heard Scump during his interview at the end of the game. We'll tune in at the end of the series. We'll tune into Scump's interview, but he was like, I don't know what happened. I mean, I thought they were looking for me. I was playing for a kill, and then I was like, okay, I got a free pinch. And the same thing happened in the search and destroy. We're about to watch with FaZe just not picking up pinches. But let's take a look at the final scoreboard. Shotzzy 30 and 28, Scump 32 and 23. General slowed down a little bit, but he was frying the whole map, 29-27. Bruce -2, but still doing his thing. On the other side, all the FaZe boys pulling about the same. But it just wasn't enough in the end. Really good plays from Scump to clutch up right there at the end and take that W. Let's get into the Berlin S&D. I feel like this map for FaZe versus Optic is just like bad memories, man. You never know. Shotzzy shooting through random walls and shit. Yeah, you're surprised that FaZe didn't veto it, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've been pretty inconsistent on this map, you know, versus them every time. So, yeah, I am surprised that they let this one get through.
Interesting plays here from Optic. They kind of planted, well, I mean, to be fair, Shotzzy brought the bomb over to fire and dropped the bomb in fire. So now Optic is kind of left in a shitty situation here. They end up bringing a bomb B and planting for the other team spawn, for the defensive spawn. But FaZe are just reading it. Good shots coming out from Arcitys here. He's going to hit those long-range shots. Really clean beams coming out of him. And Cell's going to get Scump in the sight. Good plays out of them. FaZe, they look good off the rip. They go up 2-0, but then it doesn't last very long. It doesn't last much longer than that. We can see kind of what happens here. Shotzzy's going to make a solo play through the middle of the map. He's going to get traded. FaZe now, they're trying to see what's going on. This is a god spot, by the way. Jimbo's been playing this spot. Scump's been playing this spot. I don't know what it is about this spot, but everybody's playing it. People really enjoy playing that spot. So if you guys are in rank play and want to use that one, put it in the notebook. Go check that one out. But you can see Scump in general picking up some kills. They're going to work some trades, and this is kind of where the momentum from Optic comes into play. I want to take a look at this 2-2 round because look at the angle here from Shotzzy to pick up this first blood. Let's take a look here. Simp is going to try and pre-aim that cross. And Ant on the heady. Gonna beam Simp all the way across the map. Find an easy first blood. You guys see that spot before? That was a nice little spot from Shotzzy. And then a Beezy goes rogue. Tries to push Shotzzy out. Shotzi's gonna find 2. Shotzzy just making plays, man. Able to find 2 right off the rip.
First blood machine this entire map.
How many first bloods did he have? Do you guys know?
I think he had them all.
I think he had the majority of them.
He had all of them?
He was picking the tiny terrors apart, bro. Like he just had their number.
And then after this round, after Shotzzy gets the 2-piece, I love the strat call from Optic. I love this shit. What do? They get that bomb down. I love calls like this. They get the bomb down. They say, you know what? Let's get this shit down instantly and play for a warehouse break. And that's what they do. They get this bomb down right away within 15, 20 seconds. Simp has the snipe. That forces FaZe to have to make a play. And they leave one guy in the site, right? They leave Shotzzy in the site. They just kind of go rogue and try and do what he can. I don't think he was able to do much. He ended up getting taken out. But Scump was able to find Arcitys on that pinch. Good play there. And then at this point, it's just free pickings for Optic. They just need to throw shimmies onto that site. I think it was General who ended up clutching this one up as well. He's left in a 1v2, or Dashy, excuse me. Dashy gets one. That's going to force Simp off that site. And Dashy with that pistol is going to take care of business at range. Really good shots coming in. I love the play call. Whoever made the play call there to rush plant, I love it because we haven't seen much of that recently. Get into the next round. MC was able to try and kick up a little bit. He gets an ace this round. He opens things up. Look at the ace here from MC because this was impressive. FaZe go down in numbers right off the rip. MC's going to turn that corner. He's going to find one onto Shotzzy. And just look at the way MC's able to break down this setup here. Optic's going to try and make a play through the street. MC's going to shimmy, find one, hit that little back step on Dashy, find another.
Like he was floating. Look at, like, when he got that kill, looked like he like was levitating over that sandbag. It was fucking nuts.
He's different, man. MC's different. And then he ends up picking the ace at the end. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We didn't see one kill. We didn't get to see one. You know what I'm saying? But what are you going to do about it? They never want to watch the good shit. And then we go into the 4-3 round. Great retake from FaZe. Right off the rip, Optic's trying to get that bomb down. Abeezy's going to go fucking nuts. He's going to challenge that P2. He's going to win one. MC hits a nade, and just like that, Optic's left in a 2v4 situation. FaZe hit the retake and tie it up at 4. Good plays for them. And then this is where things hit the fan for FaZe. This is where I was just confused, man. Really, really confused.
Bro, I get it that you can retake that site, by the way, the one with the shack. But am I the only one that thinks that when that bomb goes down, it's so fucking hard to retake because they can be playing that back hangar building?
It's very hard to retake.
And yeah, like why is it that so many teams I've noticed will still have people like sit back and not like play aggressive on the site to try to like stop the initial bomb plant? I feel like if a team rush plants it, gets that bomb down, more often than not, especially if the guy in the site can get one kill, rounds over.
Yeah, no, I agree, Chris. I'm one of those people, bro. When I competed, when I was on offense, I used to tell my teams, get this fucking bomb down. However we got to get it down, let's get it down. Yeah. Let's not wait till the last second. And then vice versa. When we were on defense, don't let them get the bomb down. Make sure we're if there's bomb sites that are really difficult to retake, do not give it up. Because if they get it down, we're fucked. Huh?
Did Enable carry the bomb for y'all?
I believe so. I believe so.
Okay.
He used to. He used to carry the bomb a little bit.
I'm in the same boat, Tom.
I just feel,
I'm the same. You actually can't just like give it up.
Right. I agree. I completely agree.
It almost will just like always translate to a round L, and like I feel like that is one of those bomb sites, and I think a lot of teams are starting to, you know, actually use their fucking heads, and the people in the bomb site aren't just throwing their lives away. Because I've seen a lot of times where the guy tries to run away from the site or something like that, just stay in the bomb site and finesse it, right? You have like a really good head glitch using the actual bomb, and you got cover from your teammates watching over you in the back warehouse. But once that bomb goes down, bro, retaking that site is fucking impossible.
Difficult.
So I don't understand why people give it up.
But let's take a look at this round. And Pat, I want to get your opinions. Chris, I want to get you guys' opinions. What the fuck were FaZe doing again? They're not watching their pinch. They're not watching the flank. Look at this. Scump is waltzing through catwalk, and nobody's looking at it. You have 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys, all of them. Nobody's looking at this shit. And Scump, he tries to line up his shots here. Got a little shaky here, little shaky. The pole's in his fucking way.
Yeah,
he gets 1, and then Scump was able to find 3 here. He jumps the corner, finds Alec. He jumps the corner, gets another trade, and that's 3 for Scump. Scump finds 3 in the quarter in 5 fucking seconds because nobody from FaZe is watching the pinch. We're all in the Watts party confused. Merc starts talking about it on the cast. What the heck are FaZe doing? Just what do you think happened there? Just like another mental fart?
That couldn't have been their post-plant like strat. Like there's no way that is their like actual post-plant strat for that. So yeah, I think it was just some mental confusion on them,
some
like
fried comms.
Yeah, but even comms, like, why are they in those positions to begin with?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe somebody could have said something or thought they, you know, picked up some information and they could have adjusted to it. Because I almost feel like it's like if you just have the no comm set up, like the default, like you always have a guy playing on that staircase, right? Where Scump comes from. You always have a guy playing around there. So they've had to have like given some, I feel like they had to have said something that made them adjust to it. Cause you see Arcides was playing around that area and then just runs over to the secret, you know,
well, Arcides is the one who went and planted the bomb, isn't he? Isn't that what
no. Well, somebody who was it that just ran? You can when you rewind, you'll see somebody give up that area of the map where where Scump is coming from, basically, and just run up to the staircase. Like,
Alec had it. I think, but maybe Abeezy was like tripping out about his secret, right? Because you see Abeezy bouncing back and forth between 2 things, and then you see Alec come back and pick it up, and he ends up playing a little corner. So I don't know what the comms were. Maybe Abizi called for him, or maybe Alex saw that Abizi was tweaking. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like it had to be some sort of communication thing,
right.
But it just didn't make any fucking sense. I would much rather take the chance of bouncing between those two positions, using the head glitch of the window and like watching your secret, and like or just even like playing off the sound.
Right there where Cell just died at. That's the spot everyone plays.
Yeah. I mean, it was readable. Scump checked that he might have won the gunfight, but just in general, having fucking eyes there just prevents the whole play from, you know, this guy getting a fucking 3-piece. Like, what?
And that's the thing. It's like these, again, it's Scump, the guy making the play on him. He won him the Tuscan hard point by making the flank. Then he hits another flank. This guy's flanking everything. Shout out to flank. This guy's making plays. And then we get into this round, and Optic decide to rush plant A. They just get into that A site. They work their trades, and they get that bomb down. And Shotzi was going rogue. He was all over in their fire and stuff. Abizi had to come all the way back to come kill him. With 25 seconds left on the clock, Phaser panicking, and Optic just play their corners and let the play come to him.
Scump was.
No idea. They played him like a fiddle. That's why I said they outplayed him. And FaZe, that's what the good teams do, man. When good teams make mistakes, the other good teams will penalize you for it. You know, they'll take advantage of those mistakes. That's how you win championships. That's how you win series. And Optic took advantage of FaZe today. Whenever they had, you know, a misplay or a gap in their setup, they found those gaps, and they took care of business. You see Troy popping a dead silence wearing the ponytail. No, you don't. But Mr. Troy, Senator Martin, let's get into the interview with Seth and see what Scump had to say after the match. Take a look at the final scoreboard. MC was 13-5 for the loss. Everybody else negative or even. On the other side, Shotzi again with another 10 bomb. Shotzi's been dropping double digits, and S&E's been doing his thing. Let's tune in with Seth and see what he had to say.
Look at him. He wants to bust that smile out. Hey, yo, Seth, all right? You know, I would compare and ask you, you know, what's the difference like having General from Illy, but, you know, scratch that. General deserves a spotlight. How much did he help this team out in a win like this against FaZe?
I mean, it's a huge difference. Jordan plays a literally completely different role than Ender, so we've been just trying to make him comfortable within our system. And I mean, that's obviously showed in the Florida match. We had probably about like 8 maps total played with Jordan. So it was pretty tough because we played our first match with Ender, just throwing Jordan back in after not practicing with them for a couple days. But he's really meshed well. He's doing really well on the comms. He's directing a lot of traffic as well. So he's just been really great so far. And, you know, we're just trying to build on whatever we can at this point, you know, until Ender gets back to healthy. So it was a big win. I don't know how we did it, but here we are.
A little bit of a two-part question for you. One, I have to ask, the play on the hard point, when you were making the pinch onto P1, were you coming to your team? Were you trying to get the timing right? Like, that is what broke the hill and ended up giving you guys that dub. It was a huge play for you to play it patiently, wait for the opportune time to make that push. And then on the flip side, not having Ender in comms, has it been kind of a toss-up on who's making the play calls, or has anybody really stepped up?
Nah, it's definitely a collaboration of all of us pitching in whenever we need to. Ender definitely did the heavy lifting in that aspect, I would say, whenever we were playing with him. But now that he's not on the team, I mean, we kind of still did it with him on the team, but now it's like extra. We're all putting in a little bit more communication. But yeah, the pinch play, I don't really know what happened. Kind of blacked out for a second, and I was just saying, I have a pinch, which I didn't even know if I had a pinch because I saw one cross, and I thought he was going to hold the pinch, but I just got a good timing, so it worked out.
Seth, I gotta ask you, man, how? Like, what is the game plan coming into a series like this? You have a substitute player, you're going up against your rival that you had battles with throughout this season. So what's the game plan coming into this, knowing, do you think you just have to win both search and destroys? What are you guys talking about leading up to this match?
I mean, we kept saying we got a Neslo in 2-3-5, but we actually ended up winning a hard point. So we just thought we were going to have to get through. I mean, after first map especially, we got 100 points. So we thought we were just going to have to win the searches and the control. We came out hot in the first round of the control, and I started making some weird noises. But yeah, we got the hard point. We just needed one respawn. I mean, that's basically how we're going to go into all of our series. I mean, one respawn, and our search is hopefully going to carry us through.
Hey, Scope, congrats on the big win. That was phenomenal. We were going crazy in the green room, man. We'll catch you next time. And, hey, shout out to the Green Wall. You guys are fantastic.
All right, good job at a good interview from Scump, and then you know, congratulations to Optic, man. They move on to tomorrow. They're in the semifinals. FaZe is eliminated. It's a single elimination tournament. So you know, we're gonna take a look at the bracket towards the end, but we got one more series to go. We got Boston Breach going up against the Los Angeles Seas, Gav Hardpoint, Bo Cage S&D, Berlin Control, Tuscan Hardpoint, Tuscan S&D. Pat, Chris, anything with the vetoes? This first map was all Tony. 32-17 he ended up.
Yeah, and I mean,
Tony show.
It's the Tony show.
I think this map was going to, looking at the videos, this map was going to be the only show for the Boston Breach. I don't know, man. I'm not sold on this Breach team. I think they've definitely had some highs in the season, but I just feel like it's really tough for them to beat these, you know, well-stacked teams. We talked about them having an easy bracket, not playing the best of teams, and Thieves to me is still a struggling team, but I don't know. I'm not really high on this Boston team anymore.
What about you, Chris? You high on a Boston team? I feel like Boston is like they're just inconsistent as fuck. They're either coming out and they look incredible. They haven't been beating top teams, right? That's been like the one critique for this Boston team. But LA Thieves do you consider LA Thieves a top team right now, Chris? Because they've been struggling.
Do I consider LA Thieves a top team?
No.
Do I consider Boston a top team? No. Like
they're kind of like middle of the pack. Boston's been playing better throughout the year than LA Thieves, right? The people were saying Boston was a top 4 team before.
To be fair, though, they've had an easier schedule though. I mean, at least at the actual events, not the qualifiers, but the actual events, they've had an easier schedule. So, you know, results could be a little distorted from showcasing who is where. But I think both these guys are just equally middle of the pack.
We could see kind of how the map played out a little bit. I mean, Boston was able to build a pretty good lead in the second rotation going into the P1s and P2s. And then here going into P3 is kind of where they just solidified themselves a bit. Look at the scoreboard. Tony is 27-16. Main AR for the other side is Octane, and he's 17-21. So I think Tony just winning that battle here in the first map wasn't exactly the story as the series went on. But just really good overall from Boston here on Gab. I just felt like that Nero and Cap did a really good job staying aggressive on the map. TJ does a fantastic job doing his role and filling in the gaps. And I don't know what's been going on with Zinni, but just even watching his POV, he just seems super comfortable on this game.
This is just his map too. Like, yes, this game, but this map I feel like is most of his games where he like fries really bad or really well, I guess, is on Gavutu. So
yeah, and I really like how Boston was able to close it out. LA Thieves with a big P4 hold was able to bring it back a little bit, but Boston with their hold, I really like how they were able to set this up at the end. They were pretty much just playing corners and holding crosses. You have Nero on this tank watching Tony's back. You have Tony watching across the hill. Guy on hill staying down, and the last guy's just filling in the gaps, right? So somebody's going to push out the cut. Capsule ends up dying, went a little rogue, but because the setup is so strong from Boston, they're able to close this one out. Nothing really much that LA Thieves can do other than trying to run and gun. But really good plays from Boston as they come out, take care of business against LA Thieves. Kenny had a pretty good map one. Kenny played great today, by the way. He played fantastic, man. I know we were on the Kenny hate train. Like the last time he played, he just struggled with a sub. His first time coming out with a sub in like 3 years, and he didn't play well. Has not been a story the last couple series, man. I feel like he's really coming into his own. What do you guys think?
Kenny and Octane both played good, and those are the people
great,
we harp on the most. So Octane, I think he had like a 3.0 fucking KD in Search and Destroy at like this point in the weekend or something ridiculous, which is probably is the mode they've struggled the most on. So props to him, props to Kenny. They're both showing out. Draza still consistent as ever. Guy's a beast. Let's go Draza, yeah.
Let's go Draza.
Envoy is actually the one who got fried in this series.
Yeah, whatever. It's going to happen. You know, I just like that the superstar players like Octane and Kenny, these are amazing players, man. I know sometimes we harp on them, but that's because we also think very highly of them. So, you know, when they're not playing to their standards, that's why we talk about them a lot, because they're superstars and they're amazing players. Today was not the case. Envoy struggled a little bit, but, you know, he's been frying all year. It was time for other people to step up, and that's what happened, man. Octane, especially in SS&D, kicked the fuck up. He was 11-3 midway through this S&D. And he was just posted up with his automaton, just finding picks, finding trades. Really like the 3-4 round. You can see Boston, they start bringing it back a little bit. LA Thieves go up 4-1. They're able to win this round. Really good retake here from Boston. They just kind of played through Kitchen. Nero's going to find a couple kills. Nero was fantastic today as well. He was piecing up all fucking day. So good plays coming out of here. But I just like the repositioning from Octane here. The streak comes in. Sam's able to find one. You see Kenny trying to stay down. It's Tony who's trying to put some shots into him. Envoy's going to find another one. Multiple trades going down. It's a 2v2 situation, and I just love what Octane does. He changes up his positioning. He says, you know what? The only play these guys have is get that A-bomb down. Let's make a play over to the window. Gonna shoot him off the bomb. At this point, one guy run, other person play for the kill. Octane finds another kill. Really good heads-up play out of Octane. He's gonna get the first blood with that streak and then reposition and make sure they don't get that bomb down. So good plays coming out of him. That's going to pretty much win them the map. They go up 5-3, and then Boston try to just get aggro here on the offense, or on their defense, excuse me. And LA Thieves are just waiting for it. Nero's going to run into Draza. That's going to be a big first blood out of them. And then Boston just went nuts.
Still remembering they played Optic on this map at the last major, I believe.
They played a lot, Chris, but I don't think they're positive win-loss on it.
Well, they are playing it more often, which tells me they're probably pretty comfortable on it. And I remember them beating Optic recently on it. You know, I think it was probably at the last major. I don't remember. It's been so long since I watched COD. Besides this weekend, it feels like. So
it's been a month off.
We had a month off. If I'm not, if I'm not entirely remembering the situation, but I still remember them beating Optic on this, and they're playing against Boston, who's obviously another fucking amazing S&D team, and they're beating them on it there. So I think that's probably one of their comfortable picks, or just a map that they're comfortable playing on in general.
Yeah.
This is all topic, but since it was brought up, I feel like this month break was really bad for the league.
Yeah. Hey, guess what, Pat? We got another month break coming up.
Yeah,
another one.
Right? Yeah,
after the Toronto major, another fucking break. Are you kidding me?
I know it's just the Pro-Am, and there's no crowd, and it's reduced prize, and not the stakes aren't as high, but like Optic versus FaZe played today. There was only one stream, and they only had like 30K viewers. Like, I really think this month break killed a lot of momentum that they were building. So yeah, I don't know. I hope they learn from that, because that was really, really surprising to see. Well, not surprising as the numbers, but surprising to see that they're doing these
it was
breaks.
Surprising because we had a 5-month fucking off season, and then they want to come in and give 2 months off during the regular season.
That's the thing. Yeah, we give the longest off season of like any esport. Like it feels like forever.
Unacceptable, man. I was very unhappy with the COD League on that one.
For the title to release, we wait 3 extra months till the season begins.
That's true. I'm interested to see, off topic, but I'm interested to see how that works with next year, because there's those rumors that we're not getting a new Call of Duty next year. It'll just be 2 years of MW2.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we'll see what happens, man. With the league. All these breaks are pissing me the fuck off. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know who's making the schedule, but it's unacceptable. If we're gonna have a 5-month off season, there's no way in hell we should be having another 2 months off in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I also didn't like how
what is that?
The like CDL update with Spence and Daniel Sai, or whatever his name is. They were like, yeah, the break is so players can have vacations, and it's like, the season is so fucking short.
They had a 5-month vacation in the off season.
That shit made no sense.
It's their job. It's their job, Pat. Enough with these breaks, man.
The end and the beginning, but why do they need a month off in the middle of the season?
I don't know. It's ridiculous, man. I told Spence. I had dinner with Spence the other day. I said, Spence, what the fuck is with these breaks? This can't happen again.
Man, listen, they're messing with my bread, bro. I'm like, I need the podcast to keep going.
They know that this break is fugazi. There's no way this happens again. There's no way. They're gonna learn from it, like Pat said. I hope they learn from it, because if next year we get these breaks again, I'm cooking. I'm gonna start cooking. Because I don't like this shit, man. I don't like the nonstop breaks, man. I watch all these other esports all the time. I'm watching Valorant every day. I'm watching CS. I'm watching Boom. Where are we? Point. It is what it is. Back-to-back Ds. It pretty much started from Kenny in the 1-2 round. I'm going to show you guys kind of how Kenny was or the 1-1 round, excuse me. So both defensive rounds come in, right? Back-to-back defenses, and then it pretty much starts with Kenny in the 1-1 round. This is pretty much how LA Thieves was able to win this map. And I love that Kenny was able to make plays and do stuff like this, man. Just seeing his confidence come back, seeing him with those YYs out. Now all we need from Kenny is that bandana. We need Kenny to throw the bandana back on. You remember Bandana Kenny? You guys remember that?
Bandana Kenny was cracked, Kenny.
And listen, he's cracked. He was cracked today. Kenny was definitely looking like, his same old self, and now he just needs to throw the bandana on, and he's back, baby. He's fucking back. But let's take a look at how LA Thieves was able to win this, right? We go into an offense with LA Thieves, back-to-back defensive wins. Kenny was able to find a kill. Envoy Jaza, they find kills. What does Kenny do? He works a pinch. They only got 6 lives. Kenny's going to go all the way around. He's going to pinch Boston. Good flank coming in from Kenny. We love the flanks here on the flank. He's going to find 2. That's going to open up that site for his teammates, and that's going to allow LA Thieves. He's sitting here like, damn, I've been frying. And then when it comes to the game time, it just didn't happen for him that one
Vanguard.
series. Yeah, you think he got Vanguarded, Chris?
Vanguard, bro. Like I'm telling you, it's like
you get put into those like momentums, right? Like you
get put in the seat. Listen, bro.
Okay.
Like it's been a thing. These squad spawn games put people in the blenders, the tac sprint, the timings. It's a fucking mess. But like I said before we start talking about this match, I'm still not sold because every time I give a team fucking props, they shit the fucking bed. So. We'll see how they can. We'll see how they continue to progress. But this is definitely a good sign for Kenny. But he's still got a lot. He's still got a long road ahead of him in terms of his sub progression. Because I mean, like, no offense to Boston, but he's not playing against Simp and Abizi. He's not playing against Scump and Shotzi yet. So those are the only two teams that I even almost like look like it's like a benchmark. Yeah, I mean for me. So we'll see how it goes.
Yo, Chris, just real quick, you see how when you mentioned like who Kim was playing against, the thing that just first came to your mind was Simp and Abizi. Just naturally, you just subconsciously named the best team in the game. But anyway, it was just a small thing I wanted to.
Oh my god,
dude,
Pat is so
Chris,
fucking
Chris, Pat will always stand by his opinions. You know what I'm saying? He'll always stand by it, but. At the end of the day,
just subconsciously, we all know. Even the Optic fans in the chat, it's just a subconscious thing. We all know.
All right, well, let's keep it going, man. Boston somehow was able to work a clean for that. That's the only way I've seen, unless Scump is popping pieces on a point like he did and somebody's making a solo play. The only time I've seen teams cap this B point, they had more ticks. Good plays coming out of them. But unfortunately, it just wasn't, they weren't able to hang on here. Kenny was able to make a play again and open up this B site, and we'll see exactly how he did it. We'll tune in a little bit. What do you think is the best way to get this B site? Chris, Pat, you guys think people should take long routes? Or you think it's just good to just hit front and just fucking... Or we already talked about this a little bit, but...
I feel like you have to hit front almost. The long routes are just tough.
Long routes are tough. I don't mind one person taking a route, being a nuisance,
Yeah,
like going through fire and
just a
shit.
pinch, like one pinch, yeah. But I don't think there's like a going around the back kind of play.
Oh yeah, as a team, no, not at all. I mean, because basically you cannot give up like this train station like easily, because once you do that, they put you in the blender where they're spawning you by the warehouse where number 6 is, where he just spawned. So I think you definitely need to play front. It sucks, but it's just how the map plays, man.
Yeah, and you can see kind of how it played out. I mean, LA Thieves do a good job getting A. They're able to work down a lot of ticks here. Envoy opens things up with a couple kills of his own. He ended up overchallenging a little bit here. I wanted to see him stay down here. He was weak, and he went rogue, and they were on the point kind of stacking. I feel like they could have let him let Boston push him there. He goes a little rogue, but good initial play to get them into that site. And then after this, I mean, Boston just has no lives, and I love that because Boston had no lives, LA Thieves kept that gas pedal down instead of doing the Paris Legion where they're not even fucking moving when they literally have the map. They have the map win in their hands, but LA Thieves did the opposite. They stayed aggressive. They neutralized their drain. There was only 30 seconds left, and Boston there wasn't really much they can do. LA Thieves did a fantastic job. It got a little close here, went all the way down to the final seconds, but it's a 5v1 situation. All LA Thieves need to do is group up and fly into that hill, and that's exactly what they did, man. So really, really good plays by the Los Angeles Thieves. Let's take a look at that final scoreboard. Kenny, 32 and 26. This is the performance we've been waiting for Kenny. He played really, really good today. Octane, Draws, and Envoy all pulling weight on the other side. Tony, 31 and 21, but everybody else even or negative. So if you're
I wonder if this is a map we're gonna see out of Thieves in Control, because like that's something I think we kind of went back and forth on, is like they think they're good at Tuscan. They need to play Gav. They look kind of uncomfortable on both. So I wonder if Berlin becomes like their staple for Control.
Yeah, no, we'll see. I feel like Berlin's going to become a staple for a few teams, honestly, because Gavitu's fucking ass. So I don't know if a lot of people are going to be playing that, and they just think Tuscan, some teams might be outmatched on it, like you said, Pat, and I think people... What's Boston doing? Motherfuckers at 3 field.
Split. And mid. I'm holding their side. Church side of you. Yep. You already hit it. Oh, good. Take it out. Zinni their side. Back left corner, their side. No. Zinni. I needed it. Alright, Zach. Are you, I think. Are you? Play the time. Pillar. Are you dead? Nice.
Good job.
Alright, so
Right,
church.
cap on right.
I'm looking at recon. I don't see anything. I'm top of the top maps, right?
I'm in bottom church.
Okay, I'm jumping top maps.
I'm gonna come maps together in a second.
P5. He's in P5.
You go back?
You wanna go around the back?
Yeah, we can go around. Yeah, we can go
Okay,
around.
I'm sitting at
I'm back church. I'm back church. I'm back church.
Okay, go back church.
I'm hiding in match. I'm hiding in match.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
I'm gonna
On top of the tank.
glide.
On top of the tank.
Glide,
On top of the
glide,
tank.
glide.
I am. On top of the
Okay,
tank.
on the back tank. One's in map steps.
Hearthstone on
one's
the tank.
point.
Hearthstone on the tank.
Yep.
Match dead.
No, you gotta tank.
I'm hitting top. I'm pointing. Tell me, bro. Back alley. Top late.
I'll see alley. It's be alley. It's be alley.
I'm letting.
Push this guy, bro.
Wow, you can hear the fart.
Good comms, man, from the LA Thieves. I like that. A lot of energy.
They've always had good comms. I
Yeah.
feel like in this game, at least with this team. So it's good to see that their comms haven't wavered, even though their performances have been a little whack.
Well, I mean, to be fair to LA Thieves, I feel like they know that they're a good team, but they're just not executing in matches. And that's a frustrating, like, that's super frustrating, man. Like, I've been on teams before where you're talented and it's not clicking, you know? Like, it happened with us in AW, the Black Ops 3. We were so good at AW. And then when it got to Black Ops 3, we were a good team, and we got the top 4s, the top 5s. We got some good placings, but we can never execute in those matches. They were always so close, and we can never close out matches. It was driving us nuts. So it's like, you know, it's you can change roles, you could change a player or two, but it's like sometimes you'll be screaming and everything's working, and then you get to the matches and it's not.
Even the series where they get outslayed, like I still remember, I think they played Optic in a series and they got outslayed by literally 300 million and they still won last map. Like
300 million. What?
Yes, 300 million.
That's a lot of kills.
Listen, man, I don't fucking know. I just know they got fucking pooped on. I still remember the stat lines. They were all literally like 0.8s and 0.7s, and I swear I saw points. I don't even remember anymore. But their slaying power has been inconsistent this entire year, but they're still managing to push series. And then when they do end up having the advantages, they just can't fucking close. They just got no ice. Like, I'm not surprised when they blow leads. I almost expected at this point. But I mean, good on them for being able to turn up for the tournament, and we'll see how they do tomorrow.
I just think he's too far away from his team. LA Thieves, they just ignore him. Tony's gonna find a kill field, but because they have numbers on Hill, Draza was able to find 2 right through the middle. And just like that, they break on in, and they're able to build a little bit more on their lead. So just good plays from LA Thieves. Draza was 30 and 21 here. He was putting on a show this match.
I don't really know what Tony's doing over there because, in my opinion, you kind of want them to spawn. You want them to spawn field because you can funnel them. If you block that spawn, I feel like you're just giving them more options.
He overthought the fuck out of that.
Right?
He was probably trying to be like, I'm gonna spawn them deep, but like not really what we wanted there.
Boston just had a sloppy event, man. They just didn't look as much of a well-oiled machine as they usually have against some other teams. So,
and their S&D wasn't as good as it usually is either.
Yeah, it seems like the break did them more harm than good compared to a couple other teams.
Yeah, and I love the play from Octane here. Going into the B5, Octane gets aggressive, man. He gets aggressive. He pushes up roof. I like seeing teams do this. You see a lot of players that you got to push people out on this hill, or else if you turtle in the hill you're just going to get naded. It just get traded out. So it's important. This is a really big 2-piece from Sam. That's going to open up that P5 and allow his teammates to kind of get in there and soak some of his time. One guy's going to get through underneath them, but Sam's able to take care of him. And you could just see Kenny doing his thing, 23 and 19 again with the sub, hitting those YYs, doing what he does. LA Thieves were able to roll through with this one. Draza, incredible map out of him, 33, 34, and 23. You could see him getting hyped. You could see him getting loud. I'm sure this W meant a lot to these guys, because they've been losing. They haven't been clutching up, and they've been getting critiqued a lot, even by us. And it's cool to see them, go out and get this W versus Boston. Coach K had a big smile on his face after that one.
Yep. Now I'm thinking about it. Draza usually, he's obviously been solid overall, but I feel like Tuscan has been where he's really had those maps where we were just like, it was the Draza show.
Yeah, he's really, really good at Tuscan. It's like his new... Bro, just don't make those fucking memes where you're like, don't play us on Tuscan. Because if I see that shit, I'm going to lose it. Don't do those memes. Because
Draza popping off, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, you're a big Draza fan. You like Draza because you play with him on the come up, right? Like you play with him a little bit.
He's fucking disgusting, bro. You still guys remember his meme comms? He's like, I hear you.
Yeah, the meme cons, with Tony, y'all.
Yeah, guy's disgusting, dude.
Yeah, but let's take a look, man. Let's take a look at the bracket tomorrow, man. We got Optic Texas versus LA Thieves. And we got New York versus Ultra. For the Optic LA Thieves match, I'm not sure what to think, man. I thought the substitute was going to hurt them a little bit, but they looked good today. General was playing good. They took down a really good FaZe team. LA Thieves looked better today. I'm not sure what to think about this one. What do you guys think? Who do you guys got? Optic or LA? It's hard. This is a hard one. I have no
I don't
idea.
know, bro. I'm the Tim the Tap man, bro. Like Greenwall, like you want me to say Thieves is gonna win, but
yeah, I was 0 for 4. I was 1 for 4 today or some shit.
I think if
and
Optic
3
do win, it'll be another Neslo. I'm being serious. I feel like
such a hater, bro.
No, I'm being for real.
Well, to be fair to Neslo, that's a compliment, bro. If he's known as the guy who used to beat teams in 2-3-5, that's a compliment to Neslo.
I think if they do win though, that would be how they do it versus Thieves. Otherwise, I got Thieves, and then on the other side, I think New York is going to take this one.
Me too.
You know, I think they're in that period where all new teams are. They're all frying. They're looking good, and I think they're happy that they're playing well. So I think they're going to take this series.
What do you think, Chris?
I think Optic's gonna win.
Oh shit! Oh shit! No, dude, no. Listen, I got Optic and I have New York tomorrow.
Yeah, I got New York. I got New York and Optic. I want to see them in finals. I think that'll be a good finals to watch. Sorry, Greenwall. I hope I'm not a jinx. Listen, I didn't jinx New York, right?
Who's winning though?
I said New York was gonna win. Okay.
Did you say that? Did you say New York was gonna win?
I did. I got that prediction correctly. Every other single one was off.
Who do you guys think is gonna win the whole tournament? I think New York is gonna.
New York,
me too.
bro, New York.
Isn't it crazy that we all think New York is gonna take the event? It's crazy, man.
Nah, Paco's gross, bro.
He is gross. That kid is different, bro.
And I think it's like one of those events where like Crim's got something to
watch some of these matches, man. You know, we got what? We got 3 matches, right? Yeah, the 2 semis and the finals, man. So we're gonna tune in. We'll be doing a watch party like always, man. We'll run another episode of the show after the matches. Thank you guys so much for watching, man. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, anchor.fm/theflank to check out all the audio sites that we're on. And go follow @theflank on Twitter, man. Recently just got verified on there. You guys are the fucking goats. Thank you guys so much. Hey, guys, make sure you hit that sub button, man. And Pat, what do they got to do?
They got to like the fucking video.
Hit the like button. Hit the fucking like button, baby. I appreciate y'all. And as always, man, take care. Brush your hair. We'll see you guys next time.
Use it as a fuck aches button.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that, Grace. Later, guys. Peace out.